from the last video where I pretty much proved that blow-off valves increase lag and having no blow-off valve is the way to get the least turbo lag. What about if I added anti-lag but on the standard engine management? Is that possible? I reckon the answer is maybe. I've got an idea and we're going to try it. So yeah, the car is how it was left in the last video. So no blow-off valve, it's got a bigger turbo, stock exhaust manifold, bigger injectors, MAF sensor management still. There's no changes, and I'm not going to make any changes to the engine management to allow anti-lag. I'm just going to use a few tricks, I think. So yeah, I'm going to try something now, and in my mind it'll work. In reality, it might not, but let's find out. The first important thing to note, and you can't really see it, but it's what inspired this in the first place, is on the back of the standard manifold there's an EGR port, and back in the day they used to call anti-lag where it went back into the exhaust manifold EGR anti-lag. Normal anti-lag was throttle bypass, but this is what they would call EGR anti-lag, and it gave me an idea. The idea in question was to link the exhaust manifold up via the EGR port and an anti-lag valve with the boost pipes. That's exactly how World Rally Car and so on anti-lag systems work. They get air direct from the boost pipe. I feed it directly to the exhaust manifold, where it would be mixed with a rich mixture, and the heat would ignite it and help spool the turbo, or keep the turbo spooled. The question would be though, where do I get the extra fuel from? It's mostly throttle bypass anti-lag that needs a massively retarded ignition, and that's just mostly to make the actual combustion happen when the exhaust valves are open, which yes, of course, it helps spool the turbo, but it's mostly to stop, to keep the engine decelerating, to minimize actual torque production, because otherwise if you had a throttle bypass it would just rev up, it would accelerate rather than brake. But on a side effect, that does also increase fuel and air being burnt in the manifold. How much it matters to not have that, debatable. A lot of anti-lag people don't like to, the people who do know, the rally people, don't like to talk about it too much. But I remember once someone from ProDrive telling me they do not change the ignition timing. How true that is, I don't know, but well, we're about to find out, aren't we? This is the pipe work I made, so that's the fitting that will go straight on the manifold, and this is just some stainless pipe I welded up and heat wrapped. Although there's not actually much heat in the anti-lag pipe work, weirdly. That is just the flange for this valve. This valve has got a one-way valve in it, so technically there shouldn't be any reversal of exhaust gas, but there might be still. There'll be very little. This actual gasket, because it's better than the one that came with this valve, is off an Evo anti-lag valve, but it fits basically, so I'm using it. To support the weight, I got an old bracket off a spare inlet manifold I had for the Volvo and bolted it there, and it basically holds the pipe work in place, which will lessen the chance of it cracking. And yeah, I've had it mounted up so far for maybe about 100 miles, but not activated, so I still don't know if it'll actually work. But I'm going to fit it now, and you'll find out.
What follows is a brief construction montage.
Apologies for it not looking exactly tidy, because I still need to tidy up the wiring, to say the least. But this is the finalized and working anti-lag valve setup. So I'll run you through it. Obviously, no dump valve, blow off valve, reset valve, whatever at all. So you've got compressor outlet, and then anti-lag valve there. Anti-lag valve, then there's this heat wrapped pipe which goes down to the EGR port on the exhaust manifold. This anti-lag valve is opened by vacuum, so it can be opened when the throttle closes. But obviously I didn't want it just to be open all the time when the throttle closes, because it makes some crazy noise. Well, not just the bangs and the flames and whatever from the exhaust, but it makes a crazy noise out the inlet too. You'll see that on the other part of this video. So I wanted it to be switchable, and I've managed that via this Volkswagen, I think it's a boost solenoid actually. I just had it lying around. It's off a Volkswagen something or other, and with that, not only does it allow air to prevent air from going to that, but thanks to some one-way valves and other stupid trickery, it actually does it so it stays with pressure holding it closed on boost, much like what a blow-off valve does, just so no exhaust pressure could push it open and cause a boost leak, or indeed force exhaust pressure into the inlet side. So yeah, it's pretty clever setup, and it's switchable in the car via, understandably, a switch. On that note, I'll show you the switches. Right, these three toggle switches here are basically, I suppose you could say, it's almost like 3-stage anti-lag. I didn't have it 3-stage initially, but I realised with all the things I've changed, because I've done a few electrical fueling trickery things as well, with all the things I changed, with it on full blast was fucking mental, like stupidly mental, flames wise and so on. So this kind of depending on the situation. So you've got on generally, which is not sensible. It still does a big bang and a flame on gear change, but it's not World War 3. This one, it's a bit more World War 3. It's not so crazy, but it's not so crazy as that. It's crazier than that. That's all I can really say. It's more flames, and just, yeah. This one is where I add even more fuel. Only off throttle, of course. This literally doesn't affect anything on the throttle. None of this does. So it drives completely normally until you're off the throttle. But with this one, it's fucking stupid. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's you'd get in trouble. You'd end up with there'd be lots of 999 calls if you use that much on the street like that, because it sounds fucking mental, and the amount of flames is just ridiculous. So yeah, it's cool as fuck, but we've got an option now whether to run mild, medium, or fucking stupid. And yeah, this is all on the standard ECU, because, wow, because I've tricked it quite a lot and done a lot of workarounds and so on. The only thing it doesn't do so far, it doesn't retard the ignition. I still don't know, because I've not tested this yet, because, wow, you know, the current situation is a bit difficult for testing. But yeah, because I've not really tested it yet, as in out on, you know, really giving it loads, I don't know if it needs ignition retard to help with the effect, as in the actual anti-lag effect. All I know so far is it certainly has got the fuel for it, and it sounds the part. It sounds fucking mental. But does it actually have an anti-lag effect? It should, but maybe it needs the ignition time of that. I'm not 100%, but if it does, I need to work on that as well. But so far, it fucking looks and sounds the part, and hopefully on this video, I can maybe show you. This is basically no switches, normal road car, you know, normal mode. So acts completely normal, you know, nothing. Nothing weird. Right, so the first switch, you can probably hear that. The idle changes a lot. There's a, well, you can hear, hopefully, but from here you can hear the intake noise goes very different, as does the exhaust note. And yeah, things get a bit poppy. On, like, when you're giving it some on the road, it does a massive bang and a flame. That's just obviously revving it a little bit. This is the second mode. I'll probably have to show you this as in the exhaust. Yeah. Quite flamey. And then all three is usually really fucking flamey. So yeah. And now back to normal. Idles like normal. Acts normal. Normal car. So yeah, there's a long way to go until I do actual testing, as in on the road or on the track or whatever. But initial signs are pretty fucking good. Right, that's enough for me tonight on this anti-lag shenanigans, because this has been filmed, as you can probably tell by my varying haircuts and beard lengths and all sorts, over the space of, well, I can't remember, fucking a while. Good few days, maybe a couple of weeks. I can't even remember anymore. I mean, do you know what day it is anymore? I fucking don't. But yeah, it's literally ridiculous. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning now, and I got about a half-hour drive home, and then the missus will no doubt be pissed off I'm back so late. So yeah, I'm signing off for now. But obviously, not the Volvo's far from finished, and you'll be seeing a lot more of this, a lot more of the anti-lag especially, as we get testing and fucking about with other stuff. So, and also my other projects. I've got 2 more, well technically 3 now, one that you don't know about, which is kind of tempting to get on with first after this, but I don't know. So yeah, I'm signing off. Good night.